Hey Groovers, welcome back to the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, round 3 of my meal prep Sunday. It is starting to get a little bit sunsetty. It's 5 p.m. Sunny's just had her dinner. She's had lamb too. That's what I'm having later on with this big cauliflower. Well, no, we're going to be making cauliflower cheese and not your typical domestic version either. Some of you guys already know my absolute favorite chef is Yotam Ottolenghi. This is his book, Simple. And just to give you an idea, there's the recipe on this side. There's a lot of writing. This is what he calls simple, but it is simple. It does have an M for medium difficulty. He's very kindly marked his recipes that way. But everything of Yotam's that I've ever made or eaten has been unbelievable. And I'm a huge fan of cauliflower cheese, and the thought of making a Yotam Ottolenghi cauliflower cheese was too good to refuse. So the first thing we are going to be doing is dividing up cauliflower into florets. According to Yotam, this is the ultimate comfort dish. Looking for a roast chicken, some sausages, or a pan-fried steak to go alongside. Well, I'm going to be having grilled lamb cutlets. Thank you very much. Veggie options also work well. You can add some hearty brown rice to it, for example. Or you could have a simple salad with a dollop of yogurt and a wedge of lime alongside. Now, this can be made up to the point of baking and stored in the fridge for a day before you cook it. But we're making it. Cement shoes first, back in 10. Miss Kay, hello, gorgeous. Beautiful chat. Well, you're beautiful chat at the moment, I think. I'm just going to pull off the outer green leaves because we don't cook them. I'm also just going to put the range hood light on just for a bit of extra light because it's starting to get a bit darker in the kitchen. But yeah, we'll just pull these bits off and add them to our compost bowl. I don't want to get too into this just yet because while I was cleaning the kitchen and feeding Sunny, I also might have eaten the entire ramekin of baked custard because it was so good. It's a good way to segue back. So anyone that watches this video, if you want to learn how to make a sweet and spicy baked custard, I thoroughly recommend it. But also I'm probably about 5 minutes away from pulling some zucchini, ricotta, and cherry tomato muffins out of the oven. And if you want to learn how to make them, we just made them too. Happy, beautiful fur baby Mother's Day. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there. It's not my favourite day. In fact, it's my least favourite day of the year. But going live on YouTube and hanging out with you guys is better than moping. I don't mope, and I will toast my mum after I finish the live or while I'm having dinner. And my sister and I always toast mum and have a little dance and have a bit of a laugh. But, yeah, it's just it doesn't get any easier. It's been 23 years since she died, and it's still my least favourite day of the year. At least my sister's got kids, so she can have a Mother's Day with her kids. But when you don't have kids yourself and you don't have a mum, it's pretty bleak. Anywho, not that I wanted the kids, but, you know, it's just a very in-your-face day. There's a lot of advertising. There's a lot of people bitching on social media about how their mums are ungrateful and didn't like their presents. Yeah, exactly. We do have to celebrate how long we had them. And that's what I said to another friend of mine who lost her mum in her early 30s as well. It's like we can't spend the day moping, and we don't. It's just a day I just don't want to know what other people are doing. Okay, I'm just going to put the skewer in my muffins and see if that it comes out clean, because if it does, they're done. They looked about 5 minutes away from being done when I checked them before. And we've got to pop them onto a rack. So let me just take my glasses off. That's important when you wear glasses. Oh, they look pretty good. I might just spin them around because I forgot there is a hot spot in my oven, and the back goes brown before the front. So I've just given that a little spin for the last 5 minutes. They'll be gorgeous. We might as well start prepping the cauliflower though, at least. So get yourself a good little knife of choice. I don't tend to use big knives for this sort of job. We're going to be making little florets of cauliflower, and we are going to be steaming it a bit before it goes into the oven to bake with all the cheese and other yummy things. So I'm just going to pop them straight into the steamer. And I've got, I thought I'd put it on. I haven't. I was like, oh, I've got some boiling water on the stovetop. No, I don't. I will have soon. I just don't know where I'm going to put my muffins. Might be time for me to stop cooking on YouTube. She lives in you. They certainly do. Yeah, it's more just the Hallmark holiday aspect. I mean, when Mum was alive, she hated Mother's Day. So, you know, I mean, I was raised by a mother who was very cynical about it anyway. You know, she used to say, if you can't tell me that you love me every other day of the year, then don't just tell me on Mother's Day, which is a good point. Lots of veggies are going into my little compost bowl. And my compost bin is basically the garden below my deck. My house is on stilts. And I have the garden below. So, yeah, sort of cut these into sort of that kind of size. I like them a bit chunkier, about 4 centimetres long. But they don't all have to be uniform or anything like that. Some people might do smaller, but, I mean, it is a baked cauliflower cheese. I kind of like having, you know, chunky bits of cauliflower, not tiny blitzed bits. I think the years of trying to be super healthy and have cauliflower rice instead of rice, I don't cope well with tiny bits of cauliflower anymore. They've got to be chunky. So, yeah, I'm calling it 4 centimetres. And also, if you overcook things and you've chopped them up too tiny, they're horrible. But if you make them chunky, they're usually okay. But at least if I get this done, I can then bring out the muffins and put them on a rack, and we'll do a taste test of one of them at the end of this live. But this will, once this basically goes into the oven, I was going to come back and do a Thai chicken soup, because I usually make a soup on Sunday as well. But I think because I chose to do lots of things that bake and the baking for a long time, I'll leave the soup and maybe go live tomorrow. Or yeah, I might go live tomorrow night after work, make it then. Or if I do it tonight, I'll make a quick video. It's very easy. I mean, it's a chicken, Thai chicken, red Thai curry chicken, using, whenever I do a roast chicken or whatever, I mean, we don't always eat everything here, so a lot of things get bagged up and frozen. And I always shred up chicken and have little baggies of that. And this soup is one of those recipes where you can, well, the oven's saying the muffins are done. And then I am putting all those little bits in at the end too. I'm not chucking them out. I just didn't want them all to be like that. They can sit up on the top and be part of the steaming. So they're going to be put on the steamer in a minute, but it hasn't boiled yet. So that gives us time to check out the muffins. My mum didn't care. Oh, yours didn't give a shit about holidays. She was old school. Oh, she lives tradition like you do. My mum didn't care about Mother's Day. She'd yell at me for spending too much on her. Oh, bless. Yeah, it's a point. I mean, look, we had cool mums, right? I mean, I would have really struggled if I'd had a mum that expected amazing Mother's Day presents and was pissed off if she didn't like what we gave her. And, you know, I mean, one year my brother, sister and I got her a cordless kettle. It was the first ever cordless kettle you could buy in Tasmania, and we just thought it was such a cool thing. And she didn't like it because she's like, oh, thank you for giving me a kitchen appliance, just what I needed or wanted, not. So, yeah, we learned very, very early on to just not buy her anything. She liked breakfast in bed or something like that, you know. So here's the muffins, guys. The oven for this particular recipe that we're making now, the creamy cauliflower, mustardy cauliflower cheese, also cooks at 180 degrees. So that's the temperature the muffins cooked at. Just going to get the other oven mitt so I can hold these up and show you how amazing they look. They're really browned. The lighting in here now is too light, but they're beautifully browned on top, and you can see the little cherry tomatoes. These are the ones that Donna suggests when you serve them, you put cracked pepper over the top. Yum. And obviously butter is beautiful on muffins. So I'm going to put these onto their rack because they need to keep they need to get out of the pan so they don't cook too much more. And they can cool down on their rack. So let me just do that. I'll show you one individual one, which is a good photo. I want one with a bit of tomato showing. Here we go. Check out that little guy. Actually, I need to put my glasses back on too. They look like they're from Langham's. What's Langham's? Is that like a posh muffin place or a daggy muffin place? I don't know, Langham's. Yeah, and they smell amazing. And like I was saying earlier, the beauty of muffins is it's a great way to use up some veggies if you've got some left in your fridge. Same with making a soup. They're also, if you've got kids, it's a great way to hide veggies. Like this has got grated zucchini in it. But they're way more likely to love this because it's cheesy and there's little pops of tomato. And they probably won't even realise the green is zucchini. But if you steamed up some zucchini and just chucked it on a plate, they won't want it. Well, we didn't when we were kids. I learned how to make ratatouille. I don't eat eggplant, so I made ratatouille with zucchini, and that's how I fell in love with them. Oh, it's a 5-star restaurant in Melbourne. Why haven't I heard of it? Maybe I have. They look like they're from Langham. So there you go. That's the zucchini, ricotta, and tomato muffin. They're going to go and sit over on the dining room table and cool down. I might do a taste test if I think to in a few minutes. Once I've had a chance to cool down a little bit, I'll put some butter on them and some cracked pepper. You're here for the unboxing. Means you damn girl can cook, you can cook. Yeah, I love my cooking, and I love that I've started watching MasterChef again, and I was like, I really miss cooking on YouTube. And Doodle Brown was in chat the other day, and she said, I miss your cooking. And I was like, I so have to have the energy and the inclination to cook on YouTube again because I've been missing it, and it was lovely to hear that someone else was too. Hey, Humanimal, hi again. Having one fresh with dinner, like a little dinner roll, that'd fill me up too much because I'm having lamb, I'm having heirloom carrots, and I'm having this cauliflower cheese. Oh, the steamer is happening, so I'm going to put the cauliflower over the boiling water, and I put the lid back on, just leave it off top, well, it's sort of just perched on top, and we want to steam that for about 5 minutes until they're just starting to soften. We're not cooking them like crazy because they're going to bake in the oven, but we just want to soften them a little bit. Let me just get the muffins out of the way. Oh, that's what I was going to say, Humanimal. The reason I probably won't be having a muffin with dinner is because I might have just eaten that entire custard that I was going to have for dessert. Yeah. Right. So we've got our cauliflower steaming. Now what we're going to do is, this is actually, I love cooking with enamel. And this is an enamel roasting dish that I use. But it's also a perfect dish for cauliflower cheese because part of it needs to be done on the stovetop. And it is clean. It's just beautifully seasoned. I've roasted many chooks in this. I think this is actually a Donna Hay or a Gordon Ramsay, one of them. So, yeah, you need to use something that you can put on your stovetop and then into the oven and also into the grill at the end when you want to brown it all on top. So I've chosen to do mine in my roasting dish. But you use whatever you can. And interestingly, the one that Yotam has used is a cast iron one. I do have a beautiful cast iron that I can use on the stovetop and then chuck in the oven, but I think it's a bit too big. Maybe it's not. What does he say? 24 centimeters. That didn't sound that big to me. Anyway, I'm putting it on there because I'd prefer it to be a bit piled up, then spread out and it gets dry. Maybe I will try a muffin. Because we're going to get embroiled in cauliflower cheese and it's going to be quite the adventure. My favourite bowls and plates. This is a little plate. And the little Japanese ikigai size plates, like serve 5 things on 5 little plates instead of piling a whole heap of stuff onto one big plate. It's such a beautiful way to eat and it makes you really appreciate what's on each little plate. This is piping hot. Oh my God, it's so moist. It's actually, the ones once they've cooled down will come out of the wrapper a little bit better than that one. It hasn't had a chance to cool down at all, but that's okay. There's 12 of them, so, you know. Slice that little baby open. Custard Lolita. It was so good. It was so good. Sunny was eating her dinner, and I was like, I have to eat that custard. It was amazing. So there won't be custard after dinner tonight. I've had my custard already. But that baked custard was exceptionally good. I like how I'm doing these separate lives too, because everyone that watches this one, they'll be like, oh, cauliflower cheese. And they'll be like, what's she eating? It's like a muffin. How do I make that muffin? People will ask. And I will say to them, as I am about to, we've already made them on this channel. In fact, it was the live before this one, so check it out. So here we go. Look at that butter melting, the cracked pepper, as suggested by Donna. They're looking very moist, guys. But bear in mind, too, this is still technically should be giving it another few minutes to finish cooking. Anyway. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm getting all the flavors. I'm getting the ricotta. I'm getting the smooth. The ricotta has made these so moist. I am actually picking up the zucchini, but with the pepper, it's amazing. I mean, I love zucchini anyway, but for kids, the cherry tomato I'm about to eat, and I'll probably burn my mouth on that. The little pops of parmesan are amazing. These are straight to the black book too. You cooked it today and ordered in Chinese for lunch. Your mum's favourite food. Oh, cute. I think we've chatted about enamel before, Miss Kay. You love my cooking? Thank you. Oh, you're sending some questions. Thank you, gorgeous. I'll keep an eye out for them tomorrow. You have a full household. Thank you so much for dropping in, Miss Kay. Oh, cool. Thanks for giving me the view, even though you won't be there. Thanks. That's Miss Kay. You're awesome. These muffins are amazing. You could make them, cement cheese. They're not hard. Especially with the melted butter. Oh, my God. And butter, everyone, not margarine. I'm probably going to want... Oh, I'm just taking the cauliflower cheese off because... Sorry, the cauliflower off because I reckon that's been in 5 minutes. We don't want to overcook it. But I'm going to finish eating this muffin because it's mighty fine. Yum, both. Yeah, these are gorgeous. And hopefully when they cool down, they'll still be really light and fluffy and moist. But yeah, zucchini or courgette, if you call it that. Some ricotta, some Parmesan cheese, eggs, flour, cherry tomatoes, salt and pepper. Pretty easy. What else was in there? Olive oil. The olive oil is another reason they're so moist. That's beautiful. That's how you'd like a cake to be, a sweet cake, that texture. Light and fluffy. They're beautiful humanimal. They're going to be a hit at work tomorrow. I'm not going to it till Tuesday. They'll still be fun. Okay, so the cauliflower. Let me just check underneath, because I think underneath might be a bit tender, but the top bits aren't. I might just sit them back on there just for a minute with the lid on while I get the next things ready for this. So you will find a link to this recipe on the Guardian website if you feel inspired. So while that just gets a couple of minutes on the element, the water's still bubbling away, but the element's turned off. I'm just going to cut up the onion. Now, the recipe did say a small onion, and I was like, well, I have a large one at home, so I'm just going to use half of it. Those muffins are really good. That's 2 black books in a row. I mean, I make a heap of muffins, and for them to go in the black book, it's exactly like this channel. They need to have, you know, affordable, accessible ingredients. They can't have heaps of ingredients. Like, this does have quite a few ingredients, but it's going to be worth it, I think. This is just a bit of fun to do a posh. I love cooking Donna Hay stuff, but I've got so many other books and chefs that I love, including Yotam, and the opportunity to do. Just going to get that bit of the onion off, that little butt bit that's really woody and hideous. Cauliflower can have 30 more seconds. Yeah, it's kind of fun to show other chefs stuff as well, but also, I mean, I love Yotam, and I want food in the house that I want to keep eating. And the beauty of something like cauliflower cheese is it's such a great accompaniment with so many different things. And you know, it lasts a few days. I mean, you can freeze it too. It won't need to be frozen, it'll be gone. But just to have some beautiful veggies, you can even do something like pop some bacon on top of your leftover cauliflower cheese, a bit like you would with, say, a macaroni cheese, and chuck that in the oven. And, you know, I've always got greens in the house. There's always green beans. There's always peas. There's always broccoli or broccolini. Like, it'll be gone. Whatever veggie or salad I make, the idea is it's in the fridge and it gets eaten within 3 days. And so I make stuff that I love, because then I'll keep eating it. Nothing worse than making a dish and you're like, ooh, that's average, and I've got to eat it for the next 3 nights. Margarine is utterly vile. You lost me at the onion. You hate onions. You don't have to put an onion in if you hate them. Yeah, the retro recipes, look, cement cheese, I really wanted to keep doing them, but the thing is, after doing like half a dozen from that box, one thing I learned very quickly was most of what I made was gross. The only thing I enjoyed was that fruit salad that I scooped out the middle of the pineapple and used that as like a bowl to serve it up in, the one that had rum in it. all the other stuff was gross. That's what I meant, just what I was talking before about. Nothing worse than having a dish and thinking I've got to eat it for the next 3 days. And the problem was with that card set, the servings were gigantic. So it was more like having to eat that thing that I didn't enjoy. Like the last thing I made was a casserole, and it was so slimy and gross. And for the cost of all the ingredients, no. So that's why I pulled the pin on it. But I'm still going to be doing CWA recipes, and they're really like traditional Aussie Country Women's Association, you know, scones and tea cakes and really basic pasta bakes. I'm still going to do that. Could you not have chickens there to eat your scraps and provide eggs? I definitely could have chooks, but so many people down here already do that. Like there's so many places to get organic eggs, and the cost of setting it up to have it will cost, like, it'll take me a couple of years to get my money's worth on the money I'm saving on having eggs, I guess. So yeah, I'm just happy to buy it. There's so many people down here have chickens. You remember that casserole? Yeah, so that's why I stopped doing it, because I was like, if this is costing me, you know, between 60 and 80 bucks per recipe, and I'm stuck with 20 litres of something disgusting. All right, so we've chopped up the onion. He says finely diced. That's finely diced to me. I'm pretty rustic. A lot of people would keep going. I don't mind chunky bits of onion in my food because unlike cement shoes, I love onion. And what we're going to do is, now that the cauliflower is softened, I'm just going to take it over and put it on the kitchen bench on a chopping board because it's sort of softened a bit. Because now we're going to start to assemble all the creamy sauce and stuff. And we're going to use, like I said, an oven-proof dish that you can also use on your stovetop without it falling apart. Ideally, that element is bigger and it's more effective. So I think I will actually do it over there. I mean, you don't really need to see me sauteing onion, do you? It's not that exciting. So I'm going to whack that element back on to medium. Grab my butter. I love blocks of butter. Once it's opened, you actually can keep it out in Tassie because it's cold climate. You can keep it out on your bench. Doesn't turn liquid. This is gorgeous Tasmanian Duck River butter. I swear to God, there is no better butter in the world. I've eaten so many different French butters. There's other butters from other parts of Tassie that are nice, but Duck River, we grew up with it. It's so good. So, yeah. Here's another wee tip. That's pretty clean, but if you're a baker and you ever need to, like, grease a cake tin or whatever, these outer wrappers of butter are really good if they're a bit, I mean, there's a bit of butter on there, but not enough to warrant it, keeping it. But if there's a lot of butter stuck on that, you can just fold it up and pop it in like a little Ziploc bag. And when you need to grease your cake tin, just use that. The inside bit where the butter is. And if you forget, in about 2 years' time, you will be looking in your fridge and be like, why the hell have I got a butter wrapper in a Ziploc bag in my fridge? What was I thinking? Did the neighbour you gave it to, like, no, the casserole was not a hit for any of us. We all disliked it intensely. Now, wait, don't distract me. I've got to put this onion on. This thing's heating up, guys. So we're going to use 30 grams. Now, the trick is just think of a matchbox. Yeah, see? Can you hear that? This dish is hotting up, man. So, yeah, I actually undersized it a bit too. When you hear 30 grams, just think of those old redhead Matchbox. And that's basically 30 grams of butter. So cut off a piece of butter that looks like an old redhead's Matchbox. And we're just going to saute the onion. I'm going to get my wooden spoon for that, which I washed before. I want to get all the onion and everything coated. We've got a little bit of brown butter happening, but nothing too serious. Brown butter is yummy anyway. So, yeah, we just want to saute those onions in the bottom of the dish. And you want to saute them for about 8 minutes until they're soft and golden. You love that oven dish? I need to find a similar item to use stovetop Vanish oven. Yeah, they're fantastic, aren't they? Yeah, and especially I love enamel too. The shop where I got this is long closed, sadly. But I'd jump online, actually, if I were you, Humanal, even onto, like, eBay, because enamel is so light that it wouldn't cost a lot to post, and you might be able to find one on there. And it's got a gorgeous, I don't know if you saw it. Because it's actually my roasting dish. I do roast chickens and stuff in it. It's got a fabulous lid too. It's very loved. The base is a lot more seasoned and loved. The lid's almost perfect, actually. In fact, it is perfect. The base, a different story. But I love it. So, yeah, we want this to be softened and golden. Now, while that's doing that, I'm going to start getting all of the herbs and spices, because remember, this is a mustardy cauliflower cheese. So we're going to need cumin seeds, curry powder. Let me grab them first. So I've got my cumin seed. I've got a curry powder that a friend of mine makes me every year, a little jar of his, well, not little, it's a good size, a jar of his curry powder for Christmas. So we're going to use Andrew's curry powder. Hey, something to talk about. Oh, you're Broken Justice, by the way. I like something to talk about. That's cool. Welcome. Hey, Will and my sister rock, drummers forever. Hello, beautiful Will. Good to see you, mate. Haven't seen you for ages. All right, the onion's coming along beautifully, and it is getting that nice golden colour that Yotam told us to get. We also need mustard powder. Oh, I don't know if I've got mustard powder. Oh, yes, I do. Can't get more Aussie than some Keen's mustard powder. And we need, I did buy the chilies, 2 green chilies, full green chili. Like, this cauliflower cheese is going to pack a punch. It's kind of sexy cauliflower cheese. We're allowed to go fancy. We've just made baked custard, gum, and some savoury muffins. This is the posh dish. I seriously would happily eat this on my own. Like on its own, not on my, well, I'd happily eat it on my own, but also on its own. And we need mustard seeds. The brown ones, if you can find them, or black. It said black for the recipe. I've got brown ones, so that's what we're using. Focus. Yeah, Keen's, isn't it awesome? I'm making you very hungry. It smells incredible. The house smells of baked custard, zucchini, ricotta, and tomato muffins, and now just butter and onion. Hello. In fact, it's looking... Just pushing it in the ridges. I don't want it to burn. I'm actually going to take it off because I think it is starting to burn. I think that's good enough for me. I don't mind a bit of burn and a bit of caramelization. It all just adds flavor, right? So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's soft and kind of golden. So we're going to start adding all these other things I was just talking about. But first up, I want to... do the chili. Now, just a little trick with chili before you cut them. Roll them. Also, if you don't like super hot, I'm actually just going to use one because I've got a feeling when I've done Yotam's dishes before, he uses like the baby ones. Like he's an Israeli chef. So their produce is slightly different to ours. But just slice the chili down one side, and then what you want to do is, if you don't like it too hot, yes, the seeds have to come out, but the real secret is to take this bit out, the pith. That is the bit of the chili that's really hot. I mean, there's a green one. Sometimes you can eat green. I can eat green raw. But if you don't want it to be super hot, take the pith out. So I'm just going to take this over to the sink, and I've taken some, but not all of the pith out. Dry it with a paper towel because I do like a bit of chili, but it's a cauliflower cheese. I don't want it to be like I'm eating the hottest curry ever. Hey, Deb. Oh, Lockie's cooking for you. Nice. Now, the next tip I have for you, Groovers, too, with chili, or anything really, if I can use kitchen scissors instead of a knife, I will. I'm actually going to chop this up even finer because I want chili in every mouthful, and green chili is divine. Hope you're well, Deb, and it sounds like you're being spoilt for Mother's Day, so that's good to hear. What's Lock cooking you? Eggs on toast? I asked a friend of mine yesterday if her son, who's nearly 16, can cook, and she said he can't cook a thing. I was like, and she said it in like a critical way, and I'm like, well, isn't it on you to teach him? Bacon does give everything flavour. Cheese does go with everything. Oh, Mother's Day for Sunny, I'm assuming you're saying. Well, I actually don't like Mother's Day. You guys can all chat and wish each other a happy Mother's Day and chat happily. It's my least favourite day of the year. And someone said to me, oh, well, you know, we're allowed to have a lovely day. And it's like, of course you are. Off you go. I mean, not out of my chat, please, but me expressing my issues with it because my mother died when I was relatively young and I miss her like crazy and I don't have children on my social media doesn't warrant an argument from some mother who thinks Mother's Day is the best thing ever, and she still has her mother and her children. So, yeah. Not everyone has to be a fan. And I'm not. My element isn't purple. It just comes up purple on YouTube for some reason. It's actually red. I've had so many people go, oh, my God, I want that purple element. No, it's not purple. I don't know why it looks purple on the screen, but it's red. All right, so we've done the chili because everything else is just going to get thrown in now. We'll just whack that butter back on the purple element. That chili's got a bit of punch to it because I just inhaled air from around there. Sonny did, it's your least favourite too, Emmanuel. Yeah, it's a shitty day for a lot of people. And, yeah, if it's a great day for people, that's awesome too. But not everyone has to pretend it's great. You know, like we need to be We need to be honest when we're not likey. So first up, we're putting 1.5 teaspoons of cumin seeds in with our onion. I'm actually just going to turn the element down a bit because it's pretty hot. So 1.5 cumin seeds. Remind me to tell you my amazing cumin tea that I'm drinking now. Oh my God, it's incredible. A teaspoon of medium curry powder. This is my beautiful friend Andrew's curry powder that he made me for Christmas. Yum. A teaspoon of Keen's mustard powder. Yum. Bloody Aussie. We're going to chuck in those green chilies. I'm actually just going to give this all a bit of a mix. And I'm going to chuck a tiny bit more butter in too. Just so it doesn't burn. As much as this pot's fantastic, this baking dish, the little indented bits, it's letting things burn a bit. Wow, that's got a lot of personality. 3/4 of a teaspoon of the black mustard seeds. I use the 1 teaspoon measure all the time and I just guesstimate. Oh, did Deb say what Locke's cooking her for dinner? I missed it. Janan, g'day. I did have to taste test an entire muffin and an entire baked custard. Shall you take your post? What post was that? The muffin one, or you can leave it up there because the people, the replay crew might find me. Sorry, that's the chili. I could feel it coming. Okay. So, because I'm sort of under the pump a bit, I've just put in the mustard seeds as well. They're meant to wait. Pardon me. Sorry, let me just wash my hands again. Not that I sneezed on them, but I just... the mustard seeds apparently were meant to go in 4 minutes after all the other spices. So, yeah, I'm not paying attention. And Yotam's a bit more complex than Donna. Like, I've got to pay a bit of attention. But this smells incredible. It smells unbelievable. So while that's just cooking, because what did it say? It said, add the cumin seeds, curry powder, mustard powder, and chilies. Cook for 4 minutes, stirring occasionally. Add the mustard seeds, cook for 1 minute, and then add the cream. But we're just living on the edge. The muffins, you're probably in the different channel because I'm on both channels. I'm on Shitty Kitty and also Tasmania Calling. Where did Deb go? I wanted to know what Lachlan was cooking her for dinner. Did she tell us? 2:37 in the morning. You want to go and get the ingredients? Oh, I don't think Deb told us what. Well, Deb, I hope you have... Hey, Joey. All right, so all of this is smelling incredible. Next up, we're going to add 200 mils of cream. And with the lovely Yotam, I always measure his stuff out. So again, guys, don't forget, snip the plastic rings around cream, milk. Don't let it blow away from landfill and end up... How weird. These look identical, but that lid wouldn't work. I have to use the other one. But yeah, snip those plastic rings, guys. They're an environmental nightmare. All right, before this burns to a crisp, I'm adding the cream. Pretend I chucked the mustard seeds in for, a minute at the end on their own. wow, just the color of this and all the spices. Just going to get a little spatula and make sure we get all the cream. Don't ever leave any cream in your jugs, guys. We want all the cream. So there we go, 200 mils of cream. Then I'm just going to get my grater, which I need to dry. I'm glad there's a few of you in to chat to each other because this is an action-packed dish. No cream in your jugs. Does Sonny chase those plastic rings around if you flick or throw them? No. I don't know. Never tried it. All right. Let me just get on with this. I want to get this bastard in the oven so I can chat to you guys. And I'm also trying to make the Yotam Ottolenghi look easy. The green chili in this kitchen. Whew. Okay. Just going to grate up some cheddar cheese. About 120 grams, he reckons. This highly expensive cheese. You can't waste cheese ever, guys. It costs so much now. Don't let your cheese go moldy. I'm guessing. I'm all for cheese. I'm turning the element right down on that, actually. It's going to be going in the oven and baking, you know. Okay. Let me just put that over the top of it because I think we need more cheese in a minute. Quickly grate this up. Oh, it's saying to only add 100 grams. Save a bit for the end. No, this is all going in. This is all going in. Did Deb come back? You're voting for some palmy. I'm not actually going to do palmy with this because I don't mess with, well, I just mess with Yotams. I put the mustard seeds in too early, but because I've never made this before, I want to actually, I agree with you. Palmy would be good. He did say to use a mature cheddar, and this is a mature cheddar, so hopefully I could always put palmy in the crumb that's going to go on top, actually. Why don't we do that? I don't think he'll mind a tiny bit of embellishing, but yeah, it's funny sometimes with a new recipe. I want to, especially his, because he's just so amazing. But then being Middle Eastern, he doesn't really use palmy. It's not really a staple in his recipes, you know. But as far as I'm concerned, we're going to chuck all of that cheese in. I've got to cut a few bits up. Those little bits that are hard to grate, just give them a quick little bash with a knife and whack them in too. I mean, this is cauliflower cheese. It's all just going to get mushy, gluggy. We're also going to put half a teaspoon of salt. Well, to me, that's just like a good pinch. And we just want to mix that all together and let it simmer for a couple of minutes. I guess it's just to let all the flavors. God, this is pretty. Wait till I show it to you. I hope it gives you the color, though. It's the one annoying thing about cooking on YouTube. The colors are never accurate, or rarely. All right, so he says to let that simmer for a couple of minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, just to let it thicken a bit. So I can quickly wipe this down and then have a chat with you groovers. It's just that bit of assembly at the start. There's a lot going on. But yeah, I've started making my own herbal tea. For those of you who like a herbal tea, it's cumin seed, coriander seed, and fennel seed in equal measure. So you can do like 1 tablespoon, 1 cup. Oh, Deb's back. Cool. Locke slept in. He's done you a big brekkie for dinner and it's brilliant. He's a great cook. I wanted to honour his promise of brekkie. Bless. You see a gentle ochre. Yeah, it's kind of mustard yellow to the naked eye. But yeah, this is the it's called CCF tea. It's in my, if you can imagine it, you can create it. And I created this tea. My yogi friend who's into Ayurveda taught me it. So coriander seed, cumin seed, and fennel seed in equal measure. And then you just pop it into your little tea straining thing that goes in your cup and let it brew for as long as you want. And it's delicious. If you like spicy foods and curries. Bridie said to me that when she makes it for her friends, they're like, why have you given me curry water? Whereas I was like, give me all the spices. But this tea, if you're feeling a bit lackluster, lacking energy, if you have one of those, bang, you got it. If your tummy's feeling a bit wonky, have one of those fixed. It's amazing and it's really yummy if you like spices. Thoroughly recommend CCF tea. But order your seeds online. Don't buy them from a supermarket. A, the ones in the supermarket are probably 8 years old. B, you're going to pay $2 or $3 for maybe 2 tablespoons. If you go online, you can order kilo bags and 500-gram bags, and that's the way to go. The chili is getting in my nostril. Pardon me. That's so cute of Lockie, Deb. What a good lad. All right, has this thickened? Yeah, it has. It has. Awesome. Let me show it to you guys. So turn that element off. It's kind of a, see, it looks like a really boring brown on the screen. It's a mustardy yellow horse chaff kind of colour. For some reason, you're getting beige, or at least that's what it looks like on my screen. And it smells amazing. It's creamy, but it's got all these incredible spices in it. This is posh cauliflower cheese. All right. Oh, hang on. Put that element back on. The cauliflower's got to go back into this first while we mix it all up. See, it's posh, I'm telling you. You know, God forbid we mix it off the element, Yotam. So I'm just going to put like half of it in and get that all mixed in together and then add the rest of it. I want every bit of cauliflower to be covered in this spicy, aromatic, amazing sauce. This is like porn cauliflower cheese. Like, oh my God. I know, well, everything that Yotam does is porn. He's such an amazing chef, and his books, some of his books are just all vegetarian, and the dishes that you can make, and you don't want to have a side dish with them. Like, they're just these incredible dishes in their own right. He's just brilliant. And, you know, the way the world is now and the cost of groceries, mind you, vegetables are getting ridiculously expensive too, but you can still eat a good diet, a really good healthy diet, relatively affordably if you find dishes, veggie dishes, salads that you really enjoy and you're happy to eat for a few nights like this. I will happily eat this for 3 nights in a row. No issue whatsoever. All right, so it's all happily mixed in. Now I'm taking it off the element. Here you go, guys. That's where we're at with it at the moment. Shark, fish and chips come to mind. The potatoes cooked in beef lard, of course, or duck fat. Who was the chef that cooks with Julia Childs? I don't know, Will. We need you saying, bon appetit. Fish and chips are amazing. Yeah, you'd love them down here, Joan, and we do a great fish and chip, if we do say so ourselves. Right, so we've put all of that together. Now, before it goes in the oven, we've got some topping to make. Yes, we do. Where's Deb? Cute Tupperware bowl. I mean, not Tupperware, Pyrex bowl to make the topping for my posh cauliflower cheese. Now, starting off, I don't and will never have white breadcrumbs in my house. I am 100% panko breadcrumbs or nothing. If you buy those bloody crummies in a box and you like them, oh, hang on, I've got to change the unit to grams. If you want to make stuff with your crummies, you go for it. I'm only weighing this because I can't imagine what 15 grams of breadcrumbs looks like. That, over all of that, get stuffed, Yot, I'm sorry. I'm doubling your crumb recipe. 15 grams, give me a break. Even 30 is pathetic. What else is going in with it? Some more cheese, some parsley. Doesn't believe in fully covered. I don't either, but I do believe in lots of breadcrumbs. So, yeah, there we go. I believe the breadcrumbs are our future. Let's get this cheese back over here. I can't remember what knife I used for the cheese, so we'll grab another knife. Best bowl ever. Deb and I in our gorgeous Pyrex bowls. All right, I'm cutting off. Oh, wait, was I going to be... Oh, panko breadcrumbs, they're a Japanese breadcrumb. And they're just amazing. They are amazing. Do not ever eat another breadcrumb. Once you've had these, they make everything crunchy. They're amazing. They're the best. There is no breadcrumb once you have eaten a panko. Once you've had a panko breadcrumb, you'll never go back. It's impossible. All right. Let's grate up some cheddar. The white breadcrumbs sound like something to feed the birds. Yeah. Talking about fish, I actually baked some fresh fish straight from the sea from the east coast of Australia. Don't know what kind of fish it was, more than they were big, but super tasty and good. Oh, there you go. Yum. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a long way from home. You know what panko is. When you're in your supermarket, go to the Asian aisle where the Japanese food is and get panko breadcrumbs. They are the best. Everything's crunchy. Yeah. I swear to God, you'll never go back. So we're just adding some more cheddar, probably a bit more than we were meant to. I'm just going to chop those bits up. I'm being a bit reckless now with Yotam's dainty little cauliflower cheese. I'm being a bit rustic. I'm being a bit Aussie. I'm also going to do what Hugh Animal suggested. We're going to be a little bit heathenistic and chuck in some Parmesan cheese too, or as the Americans say, Parmesan. Why do you say Parmesan? Parmesan. Parmesan. There's Parmigiano, but Parmesan. And In the absence of parsley, because the possums have eaten all the leaves, give me 1 second. I'm going to just go and grab some oregano out of my herb garden, or as the Americans say, oregano. Quick rinse. And beat those herbs on the side of your sink to get all that water off them. Just some fresh oregano from my little herb garden. Oh, you love panko? Oh, I didn't realise you knew them, Will. Sorry. Shrimp. Tori is good in the kitchen. Might propose to her. I love the kitchen. It's where I relax. It's my happy place. Even when I stuff things up, I have a ball. Like, it's all trial and error, and we learn from our mistakes, kind of stuff. And I just love feeding people too. I love putting all this beautiful food on a table, and like everyone can help themselves and get the serves they want and the side dishes they want. It's just all amazing. Just before I continue though, I'm going to put my cheddar cheese back in the fridge, because you don't want to leave your cheese out, especially the way it costs now. Just needs one little bit of bacteria to come along and your whole block of $12.50 cheese is ruined. And no, I don't scrape the mold off. Some people do, I don't. That cheese has got mold on it. Just mix this together with your hands. I'm working my way to a man's heart. Well, you know what they say about how to get to a man's heart. Cooking, baby. We export a lot of tuna, but you'd recognise that saltwater barramundi is exceptional. Yeah, I wonder what he ate too. I mean, I nearly said Trevally, but that's Tasmanian. That's not East Coast typically. All right, hang on a sec. I've got to go get a new roll of paper towel. Not because I need to use a new roll. I just had... Don't waste any of that beautiful oregano. I just needed to get a new roll. There's nothing magical about having... It doesn't have to be a new roll. I just ran out. Yotam very kindly suggests you run a paper towel just around the top, because you've been mixing everything in the dish, because the cream on the side of your dish will burn. So he does suggest you just tidy it up a little. Bless your Yotam. So now I'm just going to put this panko, just checking there's nothing else we need in there. What am I doing? Sprinkle it over. Yep, I've wiped the top. Oh, you could use a spatula or a cloth, because any cream will burn. Actually, to be honest, I've way overdone the topping, but that's okay. More breadcrumbs for us, hey? So there you have it, guys. We're going to whack this little bugger into the oven. Yum. And we want that to bake for 8 minutes until the sauce is boiling and bubbling, and the cauliflower is hot. Well, I'm just going to assume it's going to be hot because it's just gone into a 180-degree oven for nearly 10 minutes, right? How else do you test that? And I'll start cleaning up my kitchen. The chef's name is Jacques, cooked with Geordie Jacques. Okay. Oh, you've heard of panko miniature? Yeah, in the Do you have an Asian aisle? Well, actually, you're in Queensland, aren't you? You're in Brisbane. I mean, you've got Chinatown. There's plenty of places you'd be able to find pancos. Good fish doesn't need help. I agree. They are beautiful. Yep. It would make a nice stuffing. It looks so bon appetit. Right, pancos are put away. I might put you there. I have a tub where I put like opened things. So we're going to cook this for like about 8 minutes, and then I'm going to chuck it under the grill for another 4 minutes. I've got to get the grill up to a good heat though, but we don't want to burn it. And then it says just to let it cool for 5 minutes. So that's, I mean, I've been faffing around. It's taken an hour, but don't forget, I ate a muffin. But there was 20 minutes of me literally just eating a muffin. This, if I wasn't chatting on YouTube, to chuck this together, it goes in the oven for like 8 minutes, and then it's going to go into the grill, under the grill for another 4. And then as I'm actually having this for dinner with some beautiful lamb cutlets, I'll show you the lamb cutlets. I'm pretending I'm rich. Lamb is so expensive. But I bought 2 different types of lamb chops. I've got another bag that I do a slow cooker, and it was $38 for 6 cutlets and then 6. They're bigger than the chunk chops. So the next one's the 4/4 or whatever they're called. I don't know. But yum. With the brand on it. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. They need to come to room temperature for me to cook them. I'm only making 2 of them. So I'm going to take 2 out because I like to cook them fresh each time I have them. And then I'll have 2 tomorrow. So, yeah, the soup. I might just make that tonight when MasterChef's on. So the soup, I mean, the soup's pretty basic. There'll be plenty of other soups on my channel. And then the other lamb chops I'm putting in the freezer. Whack, whack. Blueberry muffins are beautiful. I think I've already made some on my channel, but I'm happy to make more. I think we must be getting pretty close to 8 minutes for the cauliflower cheese. Let me see if the sauce is bubbling. I can't tell because it's buried under the topping. Yeah, it was a good price. That's the reason I got it, because my butcher said, well, it's expensive for here. Like Australia, like, rides on the sheep's back. Oh, but what are panko breadcrumbs? Hang on. They are, I'll give you all the ingredients. Wheat flour, so no good if you're gluten-free. Yeast, salt, glucose, bread improver, which contains malt, seaweed powder, and isolated soy protein, and a dough conditioner, ascorbic acid. Contains wheat, malt, and soy. Oh, I love a bit of flounder. We used to go floundering as kids. It was so much fun. With our big flounder spears and the underwater torches, like the spotlights. Oh, it was so much fun. So the cauliflower cheese is my side dish with dinner tonight with the lamb, and then I'm just going to do some heirloom carrots. What I'll do is just mix them with a little bit of maybe some turmeric and a little bit of butter and a tiny bit of olive oil. Just mix them up together and just put them in the oven for like 15 minutes while I'm cooking my lamb. So I will be eating this dish that I'm making now in about an hour's time when I sit down and devour my meal before MasterChef kicks off. I've got a bit of kitchen cleaning to do, not a lot. But just to get this little thing all browned on top so you get to see what it's like. That's got to be 8 minutes, right? I'm sure it is. Yeah, the sauce is bubbling. Perfect. Oven can finally come off. That's been on for a few hours now, so it's pretty toasty in here. And we call it a grill in Australia. I think you guys in America call them a broiler. So it's the bit of the oven. Oh, sweet dreams, Will. So good to see you, gorgeous. Have I ever told you just before you go that the house I grew up in had a name and the name of the house was Drummers? Bon appetit, Will. Love you, mate. Look after your beautiful mum for her Mother's Day in Americana too. Yeah, so a broiler. So it's basically the element is at the top. So like you can grill in Australia, you can put like, you get a grill tray with it and you can grill your lamb, which is what I'm going to be doing a bit later, or your sausages. I don't actually own a toaster. I cook my toast in the grill. And sometimes I don't do the air. Actually, I tried air fried toast and it took longer than the grill and it didn't taste as good. Oh, we used to get lots of beautiful stuff off the beach too. Flathead is my favourite fish though. Love me a flatty. So, yeah, if you call it a broiler in America, I think, but it's where the elements at the top and the food goes in underneath, and it's how you get things nice and browned on top. And the one thing Yotam did suggest, Yotam, I keep calling him Autumn, Yotam suggested too is to keep an eye on it when it's under the grill because it can burn very quickly. I grew up on the West Coast in a very secret location. And we often ate fish like cod, mackerel, flounder, herring. In fact, my nation has rich variation of fish dishes. Yes, well, I know a lot of countries in a part of the world where people have accents not dissimilar to yours who have amazing seafood, mackerel, herring, cod. I actually I love salt cod, and I wanted to make salt cod croquettes because they're just one of my most favourite things in the world. But it's so hard to get cod in Tasmania. I mean, I could get it frozen, but growing up on an island surrounded by sea and having a very top-heavy seafood diet, anything that doesn't frolic in the waters here that gets flown in on a plane and it's frozen like a brick, I can't do it. But I'd love to make some salt cod croquettes. Yum. Oh, so you did flounder with a net. We actually went out in a little dinghy. Oh, mussels are beautiful. Yeah, and you'd find the little tiny crabs inside. Yep. And the ones that don't open, you throw them away. Don't eat the mussel. Don't crack it open. There's no cracking open a closed mussel ever. It'll kill you. Well, it won't kill you, but it'll make you really sick. Yuck. Try to find my lip balm. And I can't, so I'm going to get some coconut oil out of the pantry because that is also a lip balm. Better. It's been a bit hot in the kitchen. Let me just check my cauliflower cheese hasn't burned. Yeah, we didn't do nets. We went out in a boat, in a dinghy, with these spotlights that were waterproof because you'd put them in under the water. And then we had spears that had 3 prongs on them and you'd stab them between the eyes. And it was the cruelest, the kindest way to kill them, apparently. I watch alone. I see people belting the shit out of eels with rocks numerous times, and the poor things are still wriggling around. So, yeah, we didn't catch our floundering nets. Nearly there. It looks amazeballs. But, yeah, we don't have a flounder. Well, there may be flounder nets now, but growing up as a kid in Tassie in the 70s, and which is when we were very prolifically fishing, we went out in the dinghy at night. We'd get all rugged up. Is that how you did it too, Deb? You'd go out and you had the torches that were waterproof. Wade through the shallows, shine the kerosene lamp, bam. The tide would often be right at all at hours when we were camping. We'd trawl from boats too. Yeah, I mean, we went floundering at night. Flathead would go fishing out in the boat with, we used to use lines. We didn't use rods. We just dropped the lines straight out of the boat and used to just pull up flathead, hundreds of them. Okay. Yep, it's getting close to burning. Oh, God, that smells good. All right, guys. The last dish of the day. It's golden brown. It's not burnt. Cauliflower cheese. Mustardy cauliflower cheese. Yotam Ottolenghi style. I will be doing a taste test, but it's going to be piping hot. So just give me a moment. Definitely can smell my homegrown oregano. Yeah, cod is so sought after and it gets exported. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Your father fished a lot in rivers. Deb used to go the fishing at night in the boat. Yep. Dad would be like, who wants to go floundering? And we'd be like, yeah, and he'd go, I'll come and get you. And we'd get all rugged up with our beanies and our big jumpers and we had to wear little life jackets because if we fell out of the boat with the bloody knitwear we had on, we would have sunk straight to the bottom. And sometimes you'd accidentally, unintentionally get a skate, like a stingray instead of a flathead. That was always distressing. You can eat skate too, but it's nowhere near as good as flounder. In fact, my dad, and I think, no, we didn't end up singing it at his funeral, but my dad, we used to stay at friends of ours' shack on Bruny Island, the Freemans, and one of the boys was my dad's godson, and Dad came up with a song one night which was, oh, the wind did roar and the waves did pounder, and there I saw young Nicholas flounder. And Nick lost it. He hated it. When Dad died, I was like, do you want me to sing that as you come up on the stage to do your eulogy? He still didn't like Nicholas flounder. Dad was weird like that. Okay. I'm going to taste this. So far today, the baked, actually, let me just get the other things I've made as a nice little tie and wrap up of the cooking session today. The soup, if I don't make it tonight while MasterChef's on, I'm going to make it tomorrow night. It's really easy. I'll stick it up on my community page. It's basically when you get barbecue chicken or roast chicken left over, you shred it and put it up in baggies, like a cup per bag. Pull a couple of them out of the freezer. You need some coconut milk. You need some red Thai curry paste. I can't even remember what else. I think there might be some broccolini in it. And then right before you serve it, you can throw in some vermicelli egg noodles. Delicious. All right. This afternoon in the Shitty Kitty Kitchen, first up we made a sugar and spice and all things nice baked custard. Look at that caramelization. Absolutely divine. Divine. Black book, which if in our kitchen something is black book, it means it's amazing and you need to cook it again. 10 out of 10. That's a Donna Hay sugar and spice baked custard. Secondly, we made another Donna Hay. Now, these are served with butter and cracked pepper, but the zucchini, ricotta, and cherry tomato muffins, moist. Also black book. And lastly, to have with the lamb that I'm going to cook shortly for dinner, Yotam Ottolenghi's mustardy cauliflower cheese. This is a different kind of cauliflower cheese because it's got heaps of spices and green chili. So here we go. Wow. Okay. Okay. It's very Yotam Ottolenghi. It's got those Middle Eastern spices. I wouldn't actually call this cauliflower cheese. It's not that I'm not picking up the cheese, but all the other herbs and spices and the chili. Man, that's good. That is divine. That's like, you know how I was saying earlier, some of his vegetable dishes, you're happy just to eat that on its own and you don't need anything else. This is one of them. It's going to be amazing with the lamb. The lamb is going to be so plain. It doesn't need anything anyway. It will be served with beautiful rock salt on it though, but this is delicious, guys. In fact, I'm not even going to bother doing the carrots. This is really full-bodied. It's just porn. Even people who can't stand cauliflower would love this. What can I say? It's really good. It's also black book. But I don't put Yotam into my black book because his books are already black book. But on the scale for this channel of understanding, yum. Like, this is why people go vegetarian. If this is what you ate every night as a vegetarian, you'd be the happiest. Oh, I just dropped some on the top of my microphone. It bounced off and I'm going to eat it because it's so good. If this is what vegetarians ate every day, I would be a vegetarian in a heartbeat. But the problem is they eat the same vegetable curry 4 nights a week and the other 3 nights they eat the same vegetable stir fry. This is amazing, guys. Yum. I hate to end your fishing chatter, guys. I need to go. But I'm pretty pleased with my afternoon's meal prepping. That is so good. I can't wait to grill up my lamb chops. I'm not even going to worry about the carrots. That is yum, yum, yum. These little muffins, perfect for lunch tomorrow. Any that I don't use, will either go in the freezer or I'll take them into work on Tuesday. And as for this baked sugar and spice custard, holy shit. Yum bo. So there you go. Yep, you called it caramelized immaculate dessert. And you know what the amazing thing is? Yes, you could slice up some strawberries or pop some fresh berries on there if you want to. It doesn't need it though. Like that thing, that tub, it's heavy. The ramekin is. The whole thing is. That is so friggin' good. Oh my God. Yeah, these are black book too. All 3 are 10 out of 10. Well, actually, look. No, these are 10. They were incredible. Yep, they are. I make a lot of muffins, so, you know, under pressure to perform. And, yeah, the soup, like I said, it's just using leftover barbecue chicken or your leftover roast chicken that you've shredded up It all goes in a pot together. It's yummy goodness. I probably won't go live and make it when I do, but I will. I'll pop the recipe on the community page because it's a good one. It's a good way to use up chicken. Like when people get a barbecue chicken and they don't eat all of it, they need to get in the habit of shredding it up and putting it in baggies and freezing it. Like it's great to pull out and make a toasted sandwich with it, but you can also make like amazing casseroles and curries and even soups with it. So it was a bit of a don't waste your leftover chicken recipe. Yeah, the collie is that's food porn. Barracuda. Oh, I love trout. And rainbow trout. Guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. That is my meal prep done. I've got a bit of time to clean up the kitchen while my lamb chops are cooking. I'm going to actually pop this in the oven with the lid on it on a low heat just to keep it warm. And trust me, I'm about to have an amazing dinner. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and it's so much fun to be cooking again. And if you do encounter people out on YouTube chatting about food and cooking and stuff, suggest they come and hang out with us because we make good stuff. Anyway, guys, fabulous night. Happy Mother's Day to anyone who's going to be waking up to that Hallmark holiday soon. And I might see some of you tomorrow at on YouTube on the Worker Assist channel when I'm chatting about my job and the community legal service I work for and Tasmanian Workers Comp. Be good to see you there too. Take care, beautiful people. Have a fabulous Sunday night, and congrats to the winner of Eurovision, which was way more exciting than Mother's Day. Love you guys. Bye.